The Herbwife's Green Hour. This script is written in a soft, descriptive, hypnotic ASMR format, meant to calm, slow the mind, and lull the listener into a gentle, dreamy state. Let's begin. Batch 1. The Green Hour begins. It's time now. To let the day fall away. Settle in and feel your body become quiet. You are safe. You are held. The air around you begins to soften, just like the hush that falls over a village when the sun kisses the earth goodnight. Let your breath become slow. Gentle. Like leaves drifting down a forest path. Let the weight of the day melt from your shoulders. You're not in your room anymore. You're far away. Now, somewhere green, somewhere quiet, where scent and silence dance together like old friends. Our story begins in a valley where time moves slower than the wind. The hour is green, not just in name, but in color. In feeling. It's that moment between day and night where the light turns mossy, silvered at the edges, and the world seems to sigh with a long, content breath. In the folds of a gentle valley, nestled between two low hills, tufted with yarrow and wild fennel, sits the village of Windmere, a quiet place, where the roosters crow slower, and the rain hums lullabies as it falls. At the very edge of Windmere, where the cobblestones give way to soft-packed earth, stands a cottage wrapped in vines and roofed with living moss. Bees hum like monks around the lavender, and the smoke from the chimney curls in slow spirals, as though it too has nowhere to be. This is the home of Mother Seelin, the Herbwife. No one quite remembers how long she's been there. Some say she was born when the valley was still a marsh, when the hills were shorter and the deer ran freely past the well. Others say she simply appeared one spring, already gray-haired and white, with her hands smelling faintly of mint and thyme. Whatever the truth, one thing is certain. When the sun begins its descent and the shadows stretch like sleepy cats, the green hour belongs to her. Inside the cottage of steam and leaf, step through the wooden door. Be sure it creaks softly, not out of protest, but like a yawn from an old friend. Inside, it's warm, a gentle warmth, not the kind that bakes, but the kind that invites you to curl your toes into the rug and breathe deeply. The hearth glows with low embers, their light flickering gently across rows of dried herbs hanging from the rafters, sage in wide fan, lavender like purple raindrops, mugwort heavy and fragrant. Seelin moves slowly in the middle of it all, her skirts brushing the stone floor like soft broom. She hums as she works, not a song you'd recognize, but something ancient and round, like the lull of the sea meeting the shore. She is stirring her cauldron. Not a black iron pot for bubbling curses. No, this one is brass, soft-edged and polished by use. Steam rises from it, in translucent ribbons, scented with green things. Mullein, yarrow, sage, medicinal. Yes, but more than that. This isn't just healing. It's remembering. It's calming. It's the kind of brew that doesn't only warm your body, it soothes your dreams. The Green Hour ritual every evening. As twilight whispers its way across the grass, Seelin prepares her Green Hour tea, not for customers, not for trade, just for the land, for the stillness, for the past. She selects each sprig by hand. From a woven basket, she lifts mullein, its soft, fuzzy leaves, like lambs, ears used in medieval times, to line shoes and soothe the chest. For dreams, it clears the breath. She snips sage, its silvery leaves, catching the last glow of the sun once believed to make one immortal, or at the very least, wise. And then comes yarrow, the ancient woundwort, soldier's herb, bloodstopper. But here, it is not for war. It's for peace. It's for closing invisible wounds. As she stirs, she speaks softly, not to you, not even to herself, but to the brew. Settle, now, settle. Child, the day has passed. Let the worry go. The herbs crackle softly in the heat, and the steam carries their voices upward, beyond the window pane. Outside the window, The world slows. The birds give their last notes, not songs, but soft calls, like lullabies wrapped in feathered breath. A soft wind touches the herbs outside, swaying the stalks of chamomile and angelica like dancers who know they won't be seen. And somewhere nearby, a stream chatters and whispers, telling secrets to mossy stones. The frogs, if they speak, do so in hums. Everything listens, everything waits. The green hour is a hush wrapped in green velvet. A visitor at dusk tonight. There is a knock on the herb wife's door. Not loud, just 3 quiet taps like fingers on linen. She doesn't jump. She never does. Seelan turns the flame low beneath her cauldron and slowly pads to the door in her soft shoes. There stands a little girl no more than 9. With straw blonde hair and eyes like dusk, she clasps a woven basket to her chest. "Mama has the aches again," the girl says, voice trembling. "She can't sleep." Seelan nods gently. "Then we shall ask the herbs for help." She invites the girl in. The door closes behind her with a sigh. Together, they sit by the hearth. Seelan brings out a smaller pot, clean and wide-mouthed, and begins again this time for a brew of dreams. A tonic for sleep. Into the pot goes valerian, its roots like tiny arms, once prized by apothecaries for its power to quiet racing thoughts. Then lemon balm, used by monks for centuries to calm the heart. A pinch of rose petals, dried in the sun and kept in linen because even medicine should be beautiful. As it steeps, the girl's breathing slows. Seelan hands her a tiny clay cup. The girl holds it with both hands, as though it might float away. "Sip, child, not too fast. Let it speak to you." The girl sips, and the herbs whisper their lullabies. Within minutes, the girl's eyes grow soft, her shoulders melt. She leans into Seelan's wool shawl without a word. "Whispered wisdom," Seelan whispers, an old rhyme as she strokes the girl's hair. "Mullein for breath, and yarrow for skin. Sage to keep the spirits in. Lemon balm sweetens what worry won't tell. And valerian makes all nightmares well." Outside, the first stars blink open in the sky. The green hour has nearly passed, but its gifts linger in the air, like soft perfume. The little girl dozes in Seelan's lap, safe and still. A cup for the listener. And now, Seelan pours one last cup. Not for the girl, not for herself, but for you, dear listener. She lifts the cup, rich with warmth and memory, and offers it gently. "Take this, traveler of the waking world. Sip slow, and let the green things carry you home." The cup touches your lips, and you breathe in the scent. Warm mullein, sweet balm, earthy yarrow, a trace of sage. It tastes like peace, like an old song sung by leaves. You feel your body melt into stillness. The green hour settles over your shoulders like a cloak, and in the distance, a bell chimes once. Let your breath grow long. Let your thoughts dissolve like steam. Let the herbs carry you into sleep. All is still. All is green. All is well. Yes. Let that warmth stay with you a while longer. The brew still lingers on your tongue, doesn't it? Like steam curling from the lip of a wooden cup. Breathe in through your nose. There it is, mullein and yarrow, lemon balm and rose. Let 'em stay. Let 'em settle. The fire cracks low. The girl still sleeps gently at the hearth, and Seelan sits nearby, humming softly to herself, her fingers wrapped around her own cup of tea. Outside, the breeze has turned cool. The green hour has passed, but its peace still glows through the windows, like the last line of light before night tucks in the land. The fire in the hearth has quieted 2 coals, orange and red, like glowing fruit, resting beneath ash. Seelan sets her cup aside, rises slowly, and moves to a corner of the room where bundles of herbs hang in fragrant curtains. She runs her fingers along the names sewn into each linen tag. One for dreams, one for sorrow, one for long winters, one for memory. "We'll need more valerian soon," she murmurs, "and more wood betony for the coming rains." She reaches for her shawl, A thick one dyed with walnut holes and elderberry, and wraps it around her shoulders like a sleeping cloak. Outside, the valley waits in silence. A walk in the rain mist. The door creaks open, just enough to let the air slip in. Cool, damp, and laced with petrichor. Rain is falling, not in sheets, not in storms, but in the softest way possible. Mist-kissed, gentle. The kind of rain that doesn't fall so much as hover in the air, waiting to be breathed in. Seelin steps into the dusk. Her feet make no sound on the path. Soft earth, muffled by moss and fallen pine needles. The hills are painted now in shades of blue and violet, like bruised silk. The trees whisper only when the wind nudges them. She walks with purpose, but no urgency. In her hand, a small woven basket swings lightly, its sides lined with beeswax. To keep out the wet, mullein grows best just after rain. She thinks aloud, and chamomile too. They always know when to bloom. Past the row of standing stones that mark the edge of Windmere, there's a little field no one else seems to notice. It's rimmed with bramble and rose hips, and shaped like a teardrop caught in the land's cheek. Here, the herbs grow wild and quiet, as if listening to secrets that pass overhead. Seelin kneels in the grass, and the rain dampens her shawl. But she doesn't mind. She reaches down and touches a patch of chamomile, its tiny white petals curled into the golden eye at its center. She whispers to it. Not words, exactly. Just something soft, a sound only plants understand. Then she snips a few blossoms, gently, always leaving more than she takes. Next comes the valerian, its roots hidden deep, its stalks tall and swaying. She coaxes it from the soil, rinses it in a puddle, and lays it gently in her basket. Each movement slow, each breath measured, each herb honored. Memory blooms like tea. When a teacher, old Mother Amwon, taught her to read the land by scent alone. Close your eyes. And when once said, smell the difference between a healing mint and a sleeping mint, between balm that mends and balm that dreams. Seelin smiles softly. I remember Anne when she whispers, you said yarrow would teach me when to speak and when to stay silent. A drop of rain runs from a leaf and lands on her hand. She doesn't brush it away. She lets it stay. A reminder that even the smallest things are part of the ritual. The owl and the path as she turns to leave. A low sound echoes across the meadow. An owl, slow-winged and soft, glides across the hilltop and disappears into the mist. Seelin bows her head. A good omen, she says. The watchers are with us tonight. She returns to her cottage, her basket fragrant and full, and her shawl damp with sleep-sweet rain. Inside, the girl still sleeps. The fire has dimmed, but the coals whisper with light. Seelin places the herbs on a drying rack near the window where the mist curls in. Then she stirs the cauldron once more, a potion for sadness. There's another brew to be made tonight. This one not for sleep, not for aches, but for sorrow. A woman in the village Mara, young and recently widowed, has stopped speaking. She sits by her window, silent as a locket closed around a name. Seelin knows what to do. She gathers wood betony, for grief that sits behind the eyes motherward, for hearts to full, to beat freely. Linden flower, to soothe old tears into the pot they go. A slow swirl, then a second. The steam smells like honey left in the sun. Drink it warm, she will tell Mara. At twilight, with bare feet on the grass, because healing isn't just in the herb, it's in the ritual, in the remembering. In the moment the body says, yes, I want to feel again. Somewhere near the well, a bell sounds. There is no rope. It hasn't been rung in years. And yet on some nights, when a heart begins to heal, the bell sings. No one knows why. They only listen. The herbwife's journal as night folds its corners around the valley. Seelin sits with a book in her lap, a thick leather tome, edges worn soft by decades of hands. She writes slowly. Green hour. First rain of the new moon. Valerian strong and calm. Mara will need to bruise this month. Girl from earlier. bright aura, possibly touched by sleep, will watch closely. She pauses, dips her quill again, and adds, "Stars bright tonight. When you're dreaming well, and now, dear dreamer." As the herb wife settles into her shawl, and the fire glows steady behind the glass door, you too feel it, don't you? The warmth in your chest, the soft scent of herbs wrapped around your thoughts, the peace. Let it stay, let it settle in your bones. Let it wind through you like a green ribbon, soft and slow. The valley sleeps, the owl watches, and the tea has done its work. Let go now. Melt into the silence. You are safe. You are still. You are held in the arms of the green hour. In today's episode, we meet a young woman haunted by a nameless terror and seek refuge in a wise healer-esque cut. Our protagonist receives a mysterious draft that induces a deep slumber from which she awakens refreshed. Though she cannot recall her story, she accompanies the healer to market and helps tend the stall. There, she witnesses the power of herbalism firsthand and sees glimpses of her former self. After a night spent sleeping by the fire, the girls take a sleep-inducing herbal draft together and fall into a peaceful rest. Will our protagonist regain her memories? What herbal allies aided her restful sleep? And how does her story relate to yours? I'm so glad you asked. Welcome to our apothecary, where each ingredient and story is carefully crafted to help you navigate life's twists and turns. Now, our tale begins with a mysterious visitor seeking aid in the dead of night. Her face is obscured, her voice unheard, and her reason for arrival unknown. Meanwhile, Celine tends to her garden in the fading light, gathering herbs to prepare for her evening routine. The approaching footsteps stir her from her thoughts, but when she reaches the door, she finds only the lingering scent of wood smoke and a cloak left behind. Yet upon opening the door, she discovers a sleeping girl wrapped in the cloak, hinting at a story waiting to be revealed. This scene is significant because it establishes mystery. Why did this girl show up at Kalyan's doorstep? What troubles her so deeply that she seeks shelter in the middle of the night? It immediately captures our attention, leaving us eager to unravel the enigma surrounding her character. As the episode progresses, we see the girl cozy up to the hearth and drift into a peaceful sleep. This moment symbolizes a temporary escape from whatever is pursuing her, offering a brief respite and highlighting the healing power of rest. This moment of solace is crucial because it provides a stark contrast to the turmoil that led the girl to seek refuge. It allows the audience to share in her tranquility, if only for a moment, before her ordeal continues. Upon waking, the girl remains silent, unable to recall her own story or even her name. This amnesia adds another layer to the narrative, deepening the mystery and emphasizing the extent of her distress. It also underscores the potential impact of the herbs that Kalyan prepares for her, suggesting that they may play a pivotal role in restoring not just her physical health, but also her identity and memories. This aspect of the story invites us to consider the profound connection between our past experiences, our present state of being, and the remedies we seek. As Kalyan tended to her various tasks, she prepared a bitter tonic using wormwood. This herb, known for its strong flavor and medicinal properties, is often associated with dreams and sleeplessness. Its inclusion in the episode signifies the use of herbs to address emotional and psychological disturbances, aligning with the girl's inability to sleep. This detail invites us to think about the multifaceted nature of healing, which goes beyond physical remedies and delves into the realm of holistic. After preparing the drink, Kalyan chose to consume it herself, symbolizing trust in the remedy's effectiveness. This act reinforces the importance of personal experience and intuition in traditional healing practices. It highlights that healers don't just study and prescribe treatments, but also actively engage in their own well-being and understanding of natural remedies. This practice connects the viewer to the authenticity of the craft and fosters a sense of trust in Celan's expertise. The bitter tonic is offered to the girl as a means to aid her in addressing her troubled sleep. Consuming this drink allows her to confront whatever internal struggles she may be facing, paving the way for potential healing and restoration. This symbolic confrontation suggests that acknowledging and confronting one's inner turmoil is essential for recovery, a theme often explored in stories involving amnesiac characters. By drinking the bitter tonic, the girl takes a step towards reclaiming her narrative. Once the drink is consumed, the girl experiences a change in demeanor, indicating the tonic's effectiveness in helping her find solace and relaxation. The soothing music that accompanies this moment enhances the feeling of tranquility, emphasizing the impact of the drink on her overall well-being. This shift in atmosphere marks a turning point in the narrative, suggesting that the girl's journey toward healing has begun. The presence of herbs and plants throughout the episode serves a dual purpose. Firstly, they establish a connection to nature, grounding the story in the natural world and reflecting the importance of the setting. Secondly, each herb carries symbolic meaning and significance, offering clues about the characters and their struggles. For instance, the earlier mention of wormwood, its association with dreams and sleeplessness, foreshadows the central themes of the narrative. Similarly, the inclusion of starwort, later in the episode, known for its ability to induce sleep and enhance dream quality, highlights the importance of rest and recovery in the story. As Chalaine tends to her garden, we get glimpses of the meticulous care and respect she has for the natural world. This attention to detail reinforces her connection to the land and the healing arts, portraying her as a skilled and compassionate herbalist. It also underscores the importance of patience and nurturing, qualities essential for both healing and personal growth. Colleen's choice to drink the bitter tonic before offering it to the girl demonstrates her trust in its safety and effectiveness. This act not only establishes a personal connection to the remedy, but also emphasizes the importance of personal experience and intuition in traditional healing practices. It portrays Kaylin as a practitioner who doesn't just rely on theoretical knowledge, but actively engages in her own well-being and understanding of natural remedies. As the story unfolds, we see the girl gradually drawn into the routines and rituals of Callion's life, assisting with chores and participating in daily activities. This integration helps her feel a sense of purpose and belonging, providing a distraction from her troubled past and allowing her to focus on the present moment. Such gradual immersion in a supportive environment is a common trope in healing narratives, signifying the beginning of a transformative journey. The use of sensory details such as the crackling fire, the scent of herbs, and the feel of textures contribute to a captivating atmosphere. These elements transport the viewer into the world of the story, fostering a sense of immersion and connection to the characters. The attention to detail creates a cozy and inviting setting, allowing the audience to relax and connect with the story on a deeper level. Despite the absence of dialogue, the episode effectively conveys emotions and relationships through facial expressions, body language, and subtle cues. This approach encourages the viewer to engage their imagination and interpret the nuances of the characters' interactions, fostering a more intimate and personal connection with the story. The appearance of Joran, the wise fool, adds a touch of whimsy and levity to the narrative. His playful antics and storytelling offer a momentary escape from the mystery surrounding the girl and provide a glimpse of joy and wonder within the fictional world. This element of surprise injects a sense of playfulness into the story and reminds us to find moments of lightness amidst life's challenges. Throughout the episode, the recurring motif of sleep and dreams serves as a powerful symbol of the protagonist's inner turmoil and her journey toward healing. Sleep, or the lack thereof, reflects her struggle to confront her past and move forward. Dreams symbolize her subconscious desires and memories, offering glimpses into her fragmented psyche. As she experiences periods of rest and uses sleep-inducing herbs, we see her begin to process her emotions and confront her inner demons. The symbolism of sleep and dreams underscores the importance of emotional well-being and the power of introspection in the healing journey. As the episode progresses, we witness a gradual shift in the atmosphere, from mystery and tension to tranquility and hope. The girl's journey towards physical and emotional healing is mirrored by the idyllic setting and the soothing music accompanying these scenes. This transition symbolizes the positive impact of rest, herbal remedies, and the nurturing environment provided by Kalyan's cottage on the protagonist's overall well-being. The ending of the episode leaves us with a sense of peace and anticipation. The girl's peaceful slumber alongside Kalyan suggests a deepening bond between them, fostering a sense of community and support. Moreover, it alludes to the potential for healing and self-discovery that awaits her. As the story concludes, we are left hopeful for the protagonist's future and eager to see how her journey continues. So, how does this herbal-infused episode resonate with you? Are there any herbs or remedies mentioned that you'd like to incorporate into your own well-being routine? Or perhaps you've had experiences with herbalism, or have a favorite herbal remedy you'd like to share? We'd love to hear from you in the comments section below. And if you found this episode insightful or enjoyed the story, please consider supporting us. Your support helps us continue sharing enchanting narratives that blend folklore, herbalism, and personal growth. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Our Apothecary. Until next time, may your days be filled with wonder, rest, and the magic of nature's bounty. And may you always find solace in the whispers of ancient wisdom. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like. If you'd like more videos like these, stay tuned. You are here in the safety of this valley. Here at the end of the lane, past the babbling brook, past the cowslips, nodding, past the hedge where elderflowers bloom, lies the cottage where the clock ticks like a cradle song, and the lamplight spills honey gold across the sill. Inside, the kettle whispers on the hob, and the hearth glows ember red. Come in. Rest your bones and weary heart, for you are welcome here. Whatever brings you here is welcome too, and I will tend it, mend it, or set it free. What troubles you? I do understand, for I have walked those paths myself, many a time. Come then, tell me your tale, and I shall brew the right potion, stitch the proper charm, read the signs in the bone tea leaves, or watch with you until the tide turns. Now, warm yourself by the hearth, and take your fill of bread and cheese. Drink deep of the warming wine, and eat till you're full. We have time enough, and if shadows lengthen too much, or ghosts grow bold, there are wards enough to keep us safe. The herbs are strung across the doorline: rosemary for remembrance, mugwort for dreams, rohan for banishing, nettles, woad, and henbane, bindweed and vine, ward off unwelcome things with silent power. As long as the green candle burns, nothing evil can linger, and when it gutters low, it's easy enough to rekindle with a whispered word and a pinch of salt. So rest. Whatever has driven you here has brought you home. Your journey ends tonight. In the quiet hours, the best stories unfold, and the night is young yet. So here, before the firelight, I will spin you a yarn and conjure a dream, a place, and a time long past, a tale of starlight and sorcery, of love and loss and change, and the unbreakable bond between a girl and her goosewife. Lira lived in a small cottage with a floor of packed clay, walls of fieldstone and mortar, and a roof of thatch so thick the moss sprouted between the reeds. Outside, the scent of wood smoke curled up through the eaves and drifted into the trees. Inside, the air was sweet with lavender, chamomile, and something indescribable, like old magic waiting to happen. She lived here with her grandmother, the best healer for miles around, whose laugh lines ran deeper than any furrow in the fields and whose hands could coax life back into the most stubborn weed. They were poor, but they had each other, and that was all that mattered. One day Lira woke from a dreamless sleep, her heart heavy as lead. Her grandmother wasn't in their bed, made of woven reeds and stuffed with straw. Nor was she anywhere in the cottage, hadn't woken her up, hadn't even spoken to her. Yet she knew her grandmother was gone. Something in the air told her so. Taking a deep breath, Lira put on her cloak, pulled her hood tight against the chill, and stepped outside. The world smelled different, damper, colder, and something else, something frightening, like an animal caught in a trap. With a knot in her stomach, Lira followed the sound to an old oak. Its branches were gnarled and bare, and beneath it, slumped against a root, sat her grandmother, her face gray and slack. Though dead, Lyra's screams tore through the forest, echoing and unanswered. She cradled her grandmother, her tears soaking the old woman's wrinkled hands. Suddenly, a shape fell from the oak's branches. At first, Lyra couldn't make it out, couldn't breathe. It was a woman, wrapped in a cloak, the color of bark, her face hidden behind a hood. But as she came closer, she saw it was her grandmother. Somehow younger, somehow stronger. Her eyes, which had been dull and clouded with age, burned bright with wild life. "Don't be afraid," she croaked, her voice strangely distant. "Help me." Lyra rushed to her side, but when she touched her, her grandmother recoiled as if burned. She scrambled away, eyes wide and fearful. "Stay back," she rasped. "I am not your grandmother. Leave me." Lyra felt a cold fist tighten in her chest. "But who are you?" she choked out, and the woman threw back her head and howled, and then she was gone, melting into the trees, leaving Lyra alone in the clearing with only the dead weight of her grandmother's body to hold her. Days passed, weeks, months. Lyra stayed in her cottage, hiding from the world, subsisting on stale bread and rainwater, dreaming of her grandmother's laugh and the feel of her hand in hers. One day, she looked up. The sky was filled with screaming crows, and the wind carried the call of a single raven. Kneeling beside her grandmother's grave, she whispered, "When I forget you, please remind me." As soon as the words left her lips, the ground rumbled. The raven landed on her grave and cawed once, twice, thrice. Then, as suddenly as it had come, it was gone. The wind died down, and a delicate peace settled over the land. Slowly, Lyra stood up. She brushed dirt from her skirts and straightened her cloak. She still felt empty and cold, but something had shifted. She needed help. She needed answers. With a deep breath, she started walking, following the river downstream to the only person she knew could answer her questions. She walked for hours, and finally the trees thinned. Before her lay a cottage, smaller than a grandmother's, with thatched walls and a roof of sod. Smoke curled from its chimney, and the scent of wood smoke, lavender, and something indescribably magical filled the air. Taking a deep breath, she knocked on the door. Lyra found solace in the cottage, and as days turned into weeks, she learned more about herself than she ever imagined possible. This is where our story begins. Now, my dears, it's time for bed. Your dreams await. Settle in, find comfort, and may your waking be gentle, your slumber deep, and your heart whole. Before you go, I have one more request. In the morning, when you wake, I want you to do something special. Find someone who makes your heart sing. Give them something beautiful. Do something kind for no reason. Be a wild force for good in the world. Share this joy and kindness with as many people as you can. And maybe, just maybe, the world will remember what it feels like to be loved. Remember, you are not alone. I am with you, as is everyone who has ever loved you. Every creature great and small, and the gods themselves. Trust that everything will be all right. Everything has been, is, and ever will be. Lira returns to the familiar cottage, wrapped in the scent of thyme and tinctures. With each sunrise, she feels the echoes of her past self weaving back into her waking hours. As Celine guides her with herbs and homilies, the question blossoms in Lyra's heart. What if the girl she once was is not gone, but merely waiting to be found? Join us as we delve into the captivating world of folklore and The video starts with a beautiful prose, setting the scene and introducing our protagonist, Lira. After disappearing for 2 years, she has returned to the cottage, where her memories are coming back to her. We get a glimpse of her current state of mind and the possibilities that lay ahead. Next, we revisit the cupboard with no key in the back of the herb wife's cottage. This mysterious cupboard holds both curiosity and intrigue. Celine, the wise herb wife, adds an air of mystery by suggesting that the cupboard opens when Lira is ready. This cryptic comment sparks Lyra's interest, hinting at a deeper connection between the cupboard and her own journey of self. The inclusion of the Salt Rebellion serves as a reminder for Lira to approach life with mindfulness and respect. By accidentally breaking the protective salt ring, She learns the importance of intention and the consequences of carelessness. This event underscores the interconnectedness of actions and their ripple effects. The story takes a magical turn with the tinkerer's visit and the introduction of the silver whistle. The exchange of stories for treasures introduces an enchanting element to the narrative, emphasizing the power of storytelling and its ability to transport us to different realms. In the peaceful village of Torandu, nestled amidst rolling hills and whispering willows, lived a young woman named Lira. Time had softened the edges of her recall, leaving behind fragments of a life well lived. But the cottage held echoes of her past, whispers carried on the wind that stirred something deep within her. For 2 years, she had wandered, seeking solace in the vast expanse of the world. And now she had returned. As Lira steps across the threshold, the scent of drying herbs envelops her like a familiar blanket. Each pot, each jar, each dried leaf murmurs tales of laughter, of shared meals, of whispered secrets around her. The cottage sings a song of healing and remembrance. And in the heart of this sanctuary lives Seelin, the herb wife, whose wisdom was as deep as the roots of the oldest tree in the wood. Her eyes, the color of sun-warmed honey, held stories of their own, stories that resonated with the melody of Lira's soul. As the days lengthened and the world outside bloomed anew, Lira found solace in the rhythm of the cottage. She swept the floors, polished the jars, and sorted the herbs, each task a gentle reminder of a life once known. Her hands, calloused and strong, moved with a familiarity that transcended memory, as though they had never left this place. Yet as the green hour deepened and the shadows stretched long, Lira found herself drawn to the past. Fragments of her former life flickered like dying embers, threatening to be extinguished by the winds of time. To aid her in this endeavor, Seelin brewed infusions of lavender and rosemary, their calming scents helping to open the pathways of memory. One evening, as the fire crackled and the rain drummed a soft tattoo on the window pane, Seelin presented Lira with a small, intricately carved wooden box, its surface smooth and worn with age. "Open it," she instructed, her voice barely a whisper above the storm. Hesitantly, Lira lifted the lid. Inside, nestled on a bed of velvet, lay a delicate silver chain holding a pendant shaped like a crescent moon. As Lira slipped it around her neck, a jolt, like static electricity, coursed through her veins. Suddenly, images flooded her mind. A sprawling cottage, surrounded by a vibrant herb garden, the murmur of a nearby stream, and a face so dear it brought tears to her eyes. In the following days, the pendant became a constant companion. Whenever its cool touch rested against her chest, memories surged forth, painting vivid pictures of a life once lived. With each recollection, Lira felt a piece of herself returning, as though the pendant acted as a key unlocking the doors of her past. However, not all memories were gentle echoes of joy. Some carried the sharp sting of loss, of a deep and abiding love that had been severed. Yet even in these moments of heartache, there was solace, for with every fragment of the past that resurfaced, Lira also remembered the strength within her, the resilience that had allowed her to survive and seek solace in the quiet embrace of the cottage. As the weeks turned into months, Lira found a rhythm in her days. She tended to the herb garden, brewing potions and concoctions under Seelin's patient guidance. The villagers gradually welcomed her back, drawn to the radiant warmth that emanated from the cottage and the renewed vigor in Lira's step. One day, while exploring the attic, Lira stumbled upon a trunk hidden beneath some old quilts. Its presence, like an apparition, seemed almost otherworldly. Curiosity piqued. She lowered herself onto the dusty floor and lifted the heavy lid. Inside, nestled in layers of linen, lay a collection of objects, each whispering secrets of a life well lived. There was a silver comb with a bone handle, a child's wooden doll, a leather-bound book with its pages filled with spidery handwriting. But it was a simple seashell nestled at the bottom that caught her attention. Its pale pink hue and intricate spiral patterns hinted at the mysteries of the deep. As Lira cradled the shell, a rush of memories flooded her mind. Images of sandy shores, the salty temps of the sea spray, and a woman's voice, rich and melodious, filled her ears. With a start, Lira recognized the tune as a lullaby her mother used to sing. The realization hit her like a wave. The seashell was a memento of her coastal home, a tangible link to her mother's love. Tears welled up in her eyes, blurring the edges of the world. In that moment, she felt the depth of her journey, the long road she had traveled to find her way back home. With newfound determination, Lira resolved to uncover more about her past. Each day she explored the nooks and crannies of the cottage, finding clues that pieced together the mosaic of her identity. Old photographs, letters tied with faded ribbons, and trinkets that whispered tales of faraway lands all contributed to the portrait of a life once lived. As the days turned into weeks, a sense of familiarity enveloped Lira. The once foreign surroundings became imbued with the echoes of her laughter, the warmth of loved ones, and the comfort of a life well lived. The cottage, once a sanctuary of healing, transformed into a vessel of remembrance, guiding Lira towards the shores of her past. And as the sun set over the horizon, casting long shadows across the land, Lira stood at the edge of the herb garden, a single white rose in her hand, its petals soft and yielding, mirroring the fragility of her memories. The rose, she knew, was a symbol of remembrance, a tribute to the past, and a testament to the enduring spirit of the human heart. The story of Lira serves as a powerful reminder of the strength of the human spirit and the unbreakable bond between past, present, and future. Through her journey, we are reminded that, while the past may seem distant and shrouded in mystery, it holds the key to our identity and the fragments of our forgotten selves. If you found this video intriguing, we invite you to dive deeper into our enchanting narratives. Each tale is a portal to a realm where magic intertwines with reality, and where forgotten memories have the power to shape our destinies. Subscribe and join us on this captivating journey. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Your support means everything to us. Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is the second episode of the Forgotten series. Part of the pleasure of writing for me is getting to make little connections across stories. So, if you're new here, don't worry. Everything you need will be here. But if you watched the first episode, then welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. This episode is titled, She Who Was Forgotten. And as I wrote it, I kept thinking how easily we can forget who we are, where we came from, what we loved, or maybe even lost. Sometimes we don't want to remember. Sometimes remembering hurts. But sometimes, like Lira, we may find ourselves searching for a name, a place, a face, a feeling that seems almost within reach, almost remembered. This story is for those times. It's about finding what was lost and losing what was found. It's about the power of the past and the promise of the future. Okay, let's begin. The green beyond the hill. Breathe in the dooky stare. Feel the earth's soft grace. Hush now, rest deeper still. Let your thoughts rest gently beside you. You are safe, still, and sleepy. The scent of time is in the air. The windows are fogged with rain. And our story continues. In a cozy cottage, nestled between emerald hills, lived a young woman named Lira. Her days were filled with the quiet comforts of routine, caring for her herb and flower garden, brewing teas, and spending evenings by the hearth with her partner, Celine. There was an unspoken question mark hanging in the air between them, an anticipation of something beyond their quiet days, something stirring in the green between the hills. One day, while dusting the rafters of their home, Lira discovered a hidden cupboard filled with old books but one item stood out, a large piece of parchment covered in blue ash. It was like no map Lira had ever seen. Its surface was dusted with blue ash, pressed into winding lines that shimmered when tilted. At the center, a lake shaped like a teardrop. Above it, the word Tellenwind in pale ink, and to the side, just one symbol, leaf turned sideways. It's not a map for the eyes, Celine whispered. It's for the feet and the heart. They laid it on the table each evening, tracing its paths with fingers rather than words. And at night, Lira dreamt of walking past foxglove hedges, through tunnels of ivy, over bridges made of root and bone. One morning, as the hearth cooled, Seelan took down a small oval mirror from the back of the herb shelf. Its frame was made of driftwood and copper. Its surface was dimmer than it should be. "This one doesn't show now," Seelan told her. "It shows what will be. Not always clearly." "Is it dangerous?" Lira asked. "Only if you believe it too much." They both peered in. Lira saw a field of poppies, a cottage on stilts, and herself folder braiding herbs into someone else's hair. She touched the glass. It felt like still water. "It could be," Seelan said softly. "Or not. The mere dreams, too." That afternoon, a black feathered crow landed on the windowsill. In its beak, a tiny scroll. Lira opened it with trembling fingers. Inside were just 4 words. "Tellen Wind remembers its own." No sender, no seal. But the handwriting was familiar. Seelan only nodded. "The green hours reaching outward. What does that mean?" Lira asked. Seelan tilted her head toward the woods. "It means it's nearly time." The next nights passed quickly, each one marked by a moon that faded more and more. And on the 3rd night, the moon was nearly white. Not glowing, but glowing through, like bone or memory. Seelan wrapped a small bundle for Lira. Dried nettle for strength, sage for clarity, lavender for protection, and a pendant carved from rowan wood. "You'll go tomorrow," she said gently. "The cupboard's open. The map is awake. The path will find you now." Lira didn't cry, but she pressed her cheek to Seelan's shoulder and stayed there as the candles dimmed. The next morning was cool and silver blue. Lira dressed in her moss-green cloak, tucked the pendant beneath her collar, and tied her boots with calm fingers. Seelan didn't come to the door. Instead, a small note was pinned there. "I have gone to gather more yarrow, but you already have all you need. Follow the part of the map that hums." Lira touched the cupboard once more. It closed on its own, and she stepped out into the stillness. At first, the world looked the same. Same hills, same brambles, same lazy brook. But as Lira followed the lines, she remembered. Each footstep stirred something different. A tree leaned toward her. A breeze carried her name in pieces, and wildflowers turned as she passed. The air grew quieter, not emptier, but listening. And when the sun reached its highest point, she came upon a stone gate, half sunken in ivy, carved into it. The same sideways leaf from the map. Beyond the gate was a clearing. In its center, 7 stones arranged in a circle. Upon each sat an herb wife asleep. Their hair was woven with grasses. Their hands rested on satchels and scrolls. One stirred as Lira approached, then another, until all 7 blinked open, turned toward her, and smiled. "Welcome back, child of Tellen Wind," one whispered. "You've taken the path," said another, "and it's brought you back." "Who are you?" Lira asked. The eldest among them tilted her head. "We are the keepers of the herb, dreamers, watchers, brewers. You walked our path before you were born. And now, again." They rose. The stones faded, and the trees bowed slightly, as if in greeting. They led her deeper into a thicket of trees where small lanterns hung from every bough. Each one glowed a different hue: ember, coral, mint, plum. "Each lantern is a memory," one woman said. "Some yours, some ours, some waiting for names." One flickered as Lira passed. She reached up, touched its glass, and saw herself, age 7, singing to a baby bird in her palm. "That never happened," she whispered. The herb wife touched her shoulder. "It did. In one version of your life. You've wandered many." In the center of the grove, a mist began to gather. But unlike ordinary fog, this mist spoke, not in words, but images and impressions. Each puff brought a scene: a winter garden, a woman weaving nettle thread, a child dancing barefoot on stone. The herb wives began to chant, softly, their voices like wind in a canyon. Let her remember. Let her unfold. Let the green hour stretch beyond. Lira closed her eyes, and in the fog, she saw a house burning, a figure carrying her away. Anam whispered, "Seraph." That night, beneath a sky torn with stars, Lira sat with the herb wives and drank from a cup of warmed milk and mug. One by one, they spoke their names, all ancient, all soft as moss. When it was her turn, she hesitated. Then, my name was Lira, but I think once it was Seralith. The wind stirred. A nearby lantern blinked out. Then and the elder woman reached forward. Then you are whole. So ends our tale today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe. And if you'd like to support us further, consider becoming a member at our support page. As always, you can listen to an audio version of the full story on our app or website. Thanks for listening. Take care, and we'll see you next time.